Joining us now on the program is West Bloomfield Township Clerk Debbie Binder. Debbie, thanks for joining us today to talk about some of the services that are available through your local clerk's department.
Good morning, Tyler. Thank you for having me on today.
Yeah, glad to have you on. The big story that we had this morning from Oakland County, from the Oakland Press, was related to passport services being delayed really across the U.S. As people are looking to get back out there and travel. We know that our society has certainly reopened here in the U.S. and around Michigan, and the same thing has gone for many countries around the world. So people that have been looking to travel for the past few years maybe weren't able to travel around the time that the pandemic was really taking its greatest initial toll in March of 2020. They're now looking to get back out there, but there are some delays in the process. Now, you're a local clerk. You're not affiliated necessarily with the U.S. Department of State, so this is not quite your purview, but there's some basic rationale that is familiar to local clerks' departments about why some of these delays are happening. What are you hearing on that regard?
Well, we are definitely seeing that some of that pent-up demand has taken, flight, and we are seeing more bookings for passport services that we offer. Also figure like everyone else, they're probably short-staffed and taking longer to process. So we are quoting longer times for people to process. Now, what's important to understand is what we are is a passport acceptance agency. We are not, as you mentioned, the Department of State. We just process we're trained, my people in my office are trained to process those forms and send them to the Department of State, but we don't process them. In fact, if somebody has, travel plans that are definite and they need to really expedite something, we do have to send them directly to the passport office. We can't take care of that there. And there are certain things, other situations that we can't service here. We can only service new passports, which is an adult renewal who has a passport that's over 5 years expired, or a child coming out of their child passport into an adult passport. But if it's a standard passport renewal, we can help with the paperwork, but we send the person to going postal to process their passport application, not to process, to send it into the Department of State.
And in terms of the demand, you mentioned it a little bit as you began that answer, but we know in Bloomfield Township especially, that's what on our local news page, that article from the Oakland Press right at the top of our page today, as we're recording this live, has said that Martin Brook, their township clerk, has said they've seen exceptional demand over the recent months, and so they're instituting additional hours because there's so much demand just in his office alone. Are you seeing that similar increase here in West Bloomfield?
I can't say that we're seeing that much. I mean, we're definitely seeing an increase, but I can't say that it's that extreme. We do have appointments. When somebody has immediate travel plans, we do try to accommodate them, even if an appointment isn't available, to the extent that we can before we have to send them to deal with the passport department directly, because we can't process. We're not a processing agency. We are an acceptance agency. We accept the forms. So I don't think we've seen the kind of increase that Martin is speaking about, but we have seen an increase in people coming in. And actually, I've seen a lot more people coming in with families where the entire family is traveling. So there probably is more of an increase in demand at the Department of State level. At this point, I don't think we've had need to add extra hours. We have been able to service anyone who's needed to be serviced. And again, if they have an immediate need, we do try to accommodate them to the best of our ability. And we do have a decent amount of hours that we are open for passports.
We're joined on today's program by West Bloomfield Township Clerk Debbie Binder. You can find more information on West Bloomfield's passport services by visiting wbtownship.org or calling the clerk's office at 248-451-4848, 248-451-4848. From the State Department itself, to learn more information on U.S. passports and some of the requirements behind them, whether you're getting one for yourself as an adult, renewing one for yourself as an adult, for your kids, and so on and so forth. That is travel.state.gov. Debbie, you mentioned some of these services that are provided through the township. It's not necessarily a processing agency, but you're helping them through certain parts of the process so that they can then take that information and mail it where it needs to go to the U.S. State Department. So what are some of those specifics in the process that you are helping people with?
Okay, and we are able to send it in for them if it's not a standard adult renewal, if it's over 5 years expired, or if it's a child. But we do have all the forms here, and my staff is trained specifically to handle passports. So any questions, like if someone's filling out a form and they're not sure what to put, best advice is to leave it blank because we'll know how to guide you and what to place there. So even if it's one that we can't submit, it's always helpful to come up here and have us review it because we will make sure that it has everything's in proper form to submit to the government. We also offer passport photos for $10. Guideline for doing your passport photo is don't smile. That may tend to actually delay your application. So they want a very solemn, straight face when you're submitting a picture. But again, we're trained to take the photo exactly how the Department of State is going to want it. So even if it's one we can't submit for you, it does help to have us look over it. We do work closely with Going Postal on Orchard Lake Road. When it's an adult renewal, they also have people able to help, and that's a good place to go if needed as well. I did want to mention, Tyler, to make sure we don't run out of time and I don't mention, to give you an idea what we are looking at in delays. Previously, we would report 8 to 11 weeks for a standard passport. We're now quoting about 13 weeks. And where it was 5 to 7 for an expedited passport, which is an additional $60, we're now quoting 9 weeks. And what's also important to note is that time quote is from the time it gets to the Department of State, not from the time it's sent in here. We do send them every day. So they do leave our office every day, but it does not count as the shot clock until the Department of State receives it. So the best advice is to plan ahead. Don't wait until last minute. In terms of when we send people down to the Department of State directly to the passport office, you have to have proof of travel for them to really expedite it. So if you have any thoughts that there's any travel in your near future, don't wait to get in and get your passport renewed or whatever it is that you need to do, a new passport. Contact the clerk's office if you have any unusual circumstances. We're happy to answer questions. And again, my staff is trained specifically to answer passport questions. We will make sure to direct you in the proper direction, tell you what we can do, what we can't do. We are able, if it's a new passport, to process it. Another important thing to know is if a child is under 16, both parents need to be here, or one parent needs to sign an affidavit that the other may complete that application. So I know that becomes something that families have a challenge with sometimes with hours. And we do have a 4 o'clock appointment slot if needed for somebody who's accommodating young kids. So the most important thing I would say is you're going to get the best information if you call the clerk's office, because there's always some little tweak of what your needs are, but we will guide you on whether we can meet your needs or whether we need to send you to Going Postal. And you can make appointments at the clerk's office online at the clerk's department at wbtownship.org, clerk's office, passport services. If not, you can call our office and we will book a slot for you.
And that number to call them,
Friendly and helpful.
248-451-4848, 248-451-4848, wbtownship.org. If you scroll over their government section, on the left side, you'll see clerk's office or just clerk. You'll click on that, and then when you get to the clerk's department's page, on the left side of the screen, you'll see passport services as one of the, or passport acceptance as one of the options there. Monday through Friday by appointment only. You will need to call them or go to the office and make an appointment. And some of the basic requirements that you'll need to bring with you in these cases: a certified birth certificate, a driver's license, as well. They'll be able to help you with a passport photo if you don't have them as well. Those services are $10 as well. Debbie Binder, West Bloomfield Township Clerk, is with us on the show today. Yes, Debbie.
Yeah, I would say they do need to have also, and the original, they do, it does need to be a current state ID or license. Yes. It does need to be a valid one. And we will make copies and send in the copies. So in any originals that do need to get sent in, will get returned to you. I can tell you from my own experience, my son just got his damaged passport back in the mail. It went through the washing machine.
Oh, no. Yeah, it goes to the State Department after that in order to get renewed. Washing machine, State Department, and right back to your son. We're joined by Debbie Binder on today's edition of the Megacast, talking about passport services. Delays are in place right now through the State Department. If you're looking to travel outside of the country, even just going a little bit northeast into Canada, you're going to need your passport. You're going to need to go through some of these services if you haven't renewed it yet, or if you're getting a passport for the first time especially. Give yourself time. And Debbie, In some cases, municipalities, these passport acceptance services are available for both residents and non-residents. Is that the case in West Bloomfield?
Yes, it is the case in West Bloomfield. We do provide passport acceptance agency services to residents as well as to non-residents.
Again, it's all by appointment, wbtownship.org for more information. Debbie, before we let you go, anything else that we haven't discussed about passport acceptance or some of these services that are provided through your municipality as well as many others in our local area?
I think, and I know we've said it 3 times. I'm just going to say again, plan ahead. That shot clock does not begin until it reaches the Department of State. We are seeing extended times, and we will do everything we can to help you as much, whenever we can make that happen or guide you in the right direction. And my staff is very knowledgeable and extremely friendly and helpful. So, feel free to reach out, but the most important thing is don't wait until last minute because we're not a processing agency. We can't do anything last minute. We can only help you get things to the right agency, and we need time to do that.
In the case of emergency or urgent travel needs for a passport, that's going to have to go through the State Department itself. Travel.state.gov. Click on the U.S. passports link at the top of their page, and they'll have information on getting your passport fast in the case of an emergency or some urgent travel needs that require you going outside of the country. Debbie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Tyler. Have a great Monday.